dream last night that I had a DeLorean time machine. I was at some exotic locale and it looked incredible. Had the hat, the jacket, the hoverboard. But then I woke up.
Good afternoon and evening, everybody. Welcome to Talk Wrestling here on the Jeff Meacham Network. I'm, of course, Jeff Meacham. You know that because my name's on the sign on the door. There you go. It is what it is, kids. Welcome to Talk Wrestling. Thank you so much for being here. I know it's a little later than we've been going lately. I wanted to, number one, start later so we could hopefully go later because this topic has a lot of meat on its bone, if you will, as we say here on the show. But also I wanted to give the Constantine Studios a chance to get most of their show seen. So if you did not finish Roots over on Constantine 18, I invite you to go back to it once you're done here, or hell, leave me. I'm going to be, spiel my own shit here for a few minutes anyway. So finish up with Roots with our buddy JJ, and then come on back over and we'll get her done, kids. And I do appreciate you coming over, Jay, for our show and leaving your own watch along. I appreciate it very much. So thank you. CJ, I see you there. Hello, Brandon. I do see your comment. I will post it once I am all set with my what I have to say. So as you saw on the graphic before the show, as you have been hearing from me all day on social media, today's focus is very simple. It's a little phrase that Aaron put up over the weekend. Pro wrestling needs. And at the end of the day, we are all of us here, pro wrestling fans. A lot of us grew up in the time of, if I can get my hand to not be special needs right now. There it is. Hi. The NWO was a thing, and we'd all love to get into our DeLorean and go back and be back in that time period, because the Attitude Era, the Monday Night War era, whatever you want to call it, was a very special point in wrestling history. We will likely never see something like that again. I think that's the problem that a lot of us have, is we were so spoiled on how awesome the NWO was, how awesome the Attitude Era was in the WWF with Austin and DX and Mr. McMahon becoming a thing and everything involved there. And we were so spoiled on it, and now it's not as good. We recognize it's not as good, and we're, bitchy little kids about it. So we want what we want when we want it. We are very much Veruca Salt and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It's really that. It's what it is. I wasn't going to have a topic-centric show. I really wanted to make this an Ask Me Anything. I did want to talk about TakeOver, which I will talk about tomorrow with Mikey and Wednesday with Greg. And, of course, we'll do our chamber predictions on those shows as well for both those guys. I'll probably do my chamber predictions with Greg on Wednesday, just because our show is much more wrestling-centric than Stat Boy Sports Bar. So we will get those done Wednesday. Noah Foster, if you're watching, there you go. And then I see this post go up by Aaron, and the comments just come eroding in on social media. And I thought, you know what? This is what I want to talk about today. So I'm going to. A lot of you know, because you've been watching me, particularly this last year on the network. And by the way, let me get this in real quick here before I get all philosophical. To our friend Todd, who was on the watch along for TakeOver yesterday. Again, dude, I can't even begin to thank you enough for getting me over the initial YouTube payout milestone. Your contributions to the show last night contributed to a significant increase in my on-screen wardrobe, as well as getting hats finally for the network, which I can't do with Teespring. So I appreciate that ability, and you did that. And everybody the past year contributing the initial amount I had going into yesterday. So thank you all so much again. I've been saying it since January 1st. Even $1 goes a long way. 100 goes a lot farther, not gonna lie. And like I said, I appreciate that very much, sir. But yeah, it was very, very awesome that we hit that, and I appreciate that. And yes, Michael, I did finally get the you guys saw me on social media this morning, overnight I should say, because I did it in the middle of the night. I pretty much just life hacked that thing up there. I'm not even gonna tell you how I did it. If based on the background, you can probably figure out how I did it. But I wanted to hang that up. It was part of the NWO gift box they put out when they announced the 4 of them are going to the Hall of Fame. It was supposed to be last year's induction ceremony. It's going to be this year's now. So I wanted to hang that up because I love the picture. I love the image. It's got the, the initial promo from Hulk and the Outsiders on the other side of them and Mean Gene all up in it. And it's a kind of a Hollywood overlooking the scene, a preview of what's to come from the once great hero Hulk Hogan. So very cool shot. I love it. And I figured let's have a little decor in the background. I got my Stanley Cup banner up. I got the DeLorean over there. You see it? The first $1 I made on this channel. So I figured let's add a little color to the background as I do these shows. David, good afternoon. How are you? Actually, good evening for you. It's freaking middle of the night for you. Good to see you, sir. And all right, so here it is. Pro wrestling needs. As I was saying before I went into my little lovey-dovey stuff. I've been a fan for 30 years. I passed 30 years back in October. Dylan watched the show with me, The Baby Superstars, October 6, 1990. And I've been going ever since. I love this business. I am a fan of this business. I realized too far into it to be not disappointed with the outcome. I am a fan of this business, but I don't belong in this business. I am not. I have a great ability to verbalize and to do presentations and things like this, but the actual stuff at ringside, it's fun. I'm not gonna lie; it was a lot of fun to be a bad guy, I'm a heel pretty much by nature. I'm pretty much kind of a punk. And there he is. There's the man of the hour, Todd. Dude, thank you so much since you just got here. Just awesome, dude. Thank you so much. Once all the stuff arrives and we get it all washed and ready to present, I will definitely get pictures and we'll definitely throw it out there in the social medias of how you helped this channel. So thank you so much, Todd. So much. Again, I've been a fan so long that being involved, how I was very jaded because a lot of it was just ridiculous, and the inner workings of the business are just awful. They're just terrible. So I'm trying my best as I sit here to do this as a fan. If I get too far into the weeds, I will attempt to rein back. I've got Dylan waiting to come on to talk to you guys after I do my little thing, and I have Uncle JJ Williams video queued up. He recorded that yesterday with me while we were doing our thing. So on the takeover watch along. So here are my points that I want to make, and then once we have Dylan's when JJ's video played, and I know Lisa wants to come in. I just don't see her in the control room yet. So we'll definitely get her on and Dylan, and then I'll open the calls up because I want to hear what you guys have to say. Whether it's a comment or here on the air with me, you guys make the choice. Come on in today, by all means. If you super chat, I'll definitely bring you in. So keep that in mind also. All right, problem number 1. Get rid. Good grief. Learn how to spell, you dumbass. It's one of those days. All right, get rid of the WWE formula. The Triple H problem. We've talked about this ad nauseum over on No DQ with Mr. Tito's column coming out. There seems to be a thing in the WWE where there's no longer an organic movement of anybody. You gotta remember, Vince had the vision back in 1984, 83 and a half, as he said in the promo at the Hall of Fame, to bring Hulk Hogan in and to be the guy. From then on, it pretty much was Hogan or bust for the company for many, many years. Steve Austin kind of came out of nowhere. He was a good little mechanic, a good little hand in the company, and he cut that promo in I believe it was Cleveland at the Gund Arena, if I'm remembering right. Virtue can probably tell you better than I can. But man, Austin 316 caught fire, and then The Rock, who came in as this white meat babyface, got over just by turning the voltage up. Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, shit, he's running the show now, and we'll talk about him. It seems to be that WWE and by association NXT really seems more content to just like put these guys like as seedlings in the ground and grow their wrestler. And I need to disconnect that. That's going to bug me if I keep doing that. That's going to piss me off. Anyway, they want to just grow these wrestlers like they're trees or, plants in the ground or, whatever. It's silly. The two greatest examples of that not being the case have been in the last decade. The last 7 years, actually. Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston. You cannot sit there and tell me, even though Triple H dropped Daniel Bryan on his face in the middle of the Staples Center at SummerSlam, you cannot tell me the plan all along was to have him be in the main event in the Superdome at WrestleMania 30. I don't believe it for a damn minute. That was an organic. The fans wanted that. The fans demanded it. They hijacked social media. They hijacked the company's everything. They made that happen. Much like Kofi Kingston 2 years ago. You'll never make me believe that Kofi Kingston was going to leave WrestleMania 2 years ago as the WWE champion. No way. Kofi was that good little hand, that mechanic, that guy that was a stalwart in the company and was always there in a pinch. He was never going to be the guy. And the fans went, bullshit, that's our guy. And Vince, for a brief moment, listened. And the whole Triple H thing was brought up in that Triple H seems content to run his little indie hodgepodge down there at the Capitol Wrestling Center, the PC, if you will, and have guys from Ring of Honor, Evolve, Progress, PWG, all these other shows, these other companies. He basically has an indie all-star show every week on USA Network. Utility player is a great word for Bryan and Kofi. Thank you very much, JJ. Good call. Yes, very much so. I love it. But the problem is, he's still within his father-in-law's umbrella. We're enjoying the shows Wednesdays, and we're not enjoying the show Monday as much as we're enjoying the show Friday. And I dare say Friday's show, SmackDown, is doing very better than NXT in my eyes. I love the presentation on SmackDown right now. A lot of that has to do with Roman's character twist, because they went outside of their comfort zone. There is no way that was a Vince said to do this only thing. There's no way that's the case, right? So the WWE formula is, we want our guys to be this, this, and this, and if they're not this, this, and this, then they stay in NXT and Triple H can play with his little toys, which is stupid. It's a stupid way to go. We've all talked for years about the territories being a huge thing missing in wrestling. And even, I dare say, even developmental being actual developmental. We talked about this in the DQ review when I was on 2 shows ago, that NXT is still developmental, yet it's not. Because when OVW was developmental, when HWA was developmental, when FCW was developmental, they had their own little cocoon, and they had their brief little TV style that could go out to a few areas. It wasn't on global television like the WWE Network has been the last 7 years. NXT is a victim of its own success. And the NXT superstars are a victim of NXT success. Because now they're not developmental anymore, because they're not seen as that anymore. They're seen as, these guys are on TV, they got to be superstars. And they're still learning. They're still growing as human beings, let alone wrestlers. Bad business. So that's the main thing that has to stop. Number 2. And I've said this pretty much from the moment you guys first heard my voice 18 years ago. Reduce the pay-per-views to no more than 6. And I say no more than 6, it really should only be the big 4. Quarterly shows. Rumble, Mania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. I'll even allow for King of the Ring or something like that. Because I personally, or you know what, leave Money in the Bank intact, because that is a hell of a show. I love the concept of Money in the Bank. I always have. It's one of my favorite WWE concepts of all time. I know I'm freezing. There's technical issues, CJ. Just go with it, okay? We're trying here, guys. Like I said, it's always work in progress doing these shows, so you have to stick with me here. I don't need to hear from everybody that I'm freezing. Just, it is what it is. Anyway, the problem with the pay-per-view amount, the amount of pay-per-views we show every year is because they felt they had to. Because Bischoff did. In 95, in 93, in 95 and 96. There's no time to build anything. And I know people are going, wrestling fans don't have an attention span like that these days. You're right. A lot of them don't. But a lot of the wrestling fans that are sticking around are the old school folks like me, like, everybody that's on my shows and everybody that appears on my stuff all the time. So it shouldn't be more than 6 pay-per-views a year, but it really should only be 4. That way there's time to build and then build again. You build, you chop it down, and then you build it back up, and you lather, rinse, repeat. That worked for so many years, and Eric Bischoff becomes an expert in doing that, and things change. Stupid. Terrible. Number 3. More consistent mainstream crossover appeal on a bigger scale. That was a lot to unpack there, so let me just make it real brief here. What I mean by that is we have wrestlers or superstars from both companies that do appear on mainstream television shows. Okay. You know what? I'm actually going to go ahead and bring a guest in right now. I'm going to stop my thing because I want to make sure because she's on a huge limited schedule, unlike the rest of us, I think. And if she's not the only one limited, then let me know in the chat room, somebody. Anyway, how you doing, Miss Lisa? How are you? We can't hear you, Lisa. Okay, your mic just went off and back on. Am I the only one not hearing Lisa, or is it just me? Let's see here. Oh, and there she went. Okay, we'll try again in a second. Okay, so the whole thing with the mainstream crossover is, you got to remember, in the 90s, during the late 90s, I should say, in the early 2000s, during the Attitude / Monday Night War era, the guys were in movies, they were on the talk shows, they were appearing in TV guest spots, all kinds of stuff. You don't see that near as much now. There's a reason Sasha Banks will wave the green flag at the Daytona 500 yesterday, because she was in Star Wars. So, she's a Fox superstar, and she's a SmackDown Women's Champion. I get that, and that's fine. But her big appeal right there in that moment was she was a Star Wars character. So that's why she was on the Daytona 500 yesterday, because of that very reason. So that's why she was there. There needs to be more of that. Cody's got that show on TBS, the Go Big Show, whatever the hell that stupid thing is called. I'm not a fan of it myself. So I'm not trying to shit on Cody. I like Cody. Dylan and I met Cody. He's a great guy, but I'm not a fan of that show. anyway, more stuff like that. That way the business gets more mainstream exposure. All right, we're going to try this again with Miss Lisa. Can you hear us, doll? I'm hearing sounds, but not proper dialogue. Okay, Mike says it's off. Okay, try again, Lisa, in a second. Okay, number 4. Utilize the talents already in place on a more regular basis. How many people are under WWE contract right now between Raw, SmackDown, 205, and NXT? And NXT UK. Let's not forget that brand either. There are a crap ton of people under contract right now. And we're seeing the same people every week. That shouldn't be a problem in 2021. It was the problem in 1999 because there were so many damn people in WWF and WCW especially. So, but it shouldn't be a problem now. And it is. And there's not enough people get over again, like we talked about in point 1, because they're not using enough of the talent. Point 4. So it really just comes down to that, guys. Number 5 is going to be one that's going to piss every single person in the chat room off, I have a feeling, and that's okay. Stop empowering, enabling the internet wrestling community. And with that comment, I will definitely bring her in now if she can get the mic to work, because that's a hot one by itself. Are you there, Lisa? No. Okay. She's a no good. You know what? Let's see. Let's see here. She's typing something. So well, hell. That's right. At least we'll try to get you on. Maybe I'll have you record an audio thing for me. That's right. I forgot about that. I forgot I can do that. Give me 1 second, folks. This is live TV, pal. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and remove Lisa for now, and we'll bring her back in momentarily. Let me just get the link up. But this is a huge problem because a lot of us, and I'm not absolving myself of any blame here. Let me not throw stones from a glass window, right, or from a glass house, right? I'm guilty of this too, but especially in the age of Twitter, right? Okay, she's trying again. Lisa, are you there? No. Okay, I sent you the link where you asked me to send it, so try going from there and see if that does any better. The internet wrestling community has always been a problem since the internet became a part of the business, right? I know because I was part of that, the bad stuff for a long time. We at NoDQ got quite a bit of flack for our involvement in being a problem. All right, Bubba, I heard you. Thank you. Again, I can't control the output. I'm just going with what I'm going. So anyway, so I don't know why Dylan just left. That's not good. Okay, I'm gonna try that again. Anyway, the biggest enablers of the internet wrestling community are the superstars, the executives, the people that are on social media with these trolls, with these bad influences, if you will, allowing them to live in their head rent-free and responding to them and giving them power and giving them exposure to the world en masse. Bad. Okay, it just is. It's terrible. It shouldn't be a thing, and it is. It's really what I feel needs to happen for wrestling to be better off. So what I'm going to do now is put the graphic back up for just as I haven't tried to do this as I'm going yet, so bear with me here. Because JJ recorded his video yesterday with me. He wanted to have it played, so I do want to give him the benefit of the doubt and play this, but I don't want I didn't have a chance to edit it before I put it up. So actually wait, no. Lisa is back, I think.
Yes, now I can hear you.
Woo-hoo! All right, we're in business.
Woo-hoo! Technical difficulties.
Well, yes, it seems to be the pattern on both sides of the border. It's all good. So, all right, I know you got a lot to say about this. So have at it, girl. What do you think the business needs to get out of the hole that it seems to have dug itself into since the end of the ruthless aggression era?
Well, the first thing would be less social media.
Yes, exactly.
Especially if you're trying to build up these characters, especially heels, let's say, into these badass characters, and then they're on social media petting puppies. You know what I mean? Like, get that kayfabe type aspect back to it.
Yes.
It's taken a lot of mystery out of the business.
Yep.
Build up their character.
Yeah. The greatest heel in the business right now, I still say, is Max, MJF on AEW. He's a dick to everybody. He don't care.
Well, it's the same as like, we'll use Retribution as an example, right? Like, T-Bar.
Right.
Or what I think that's his name.
Right.
He plays the dick on TV.
Yeah.
He's a dick to people on social media. Like, he's got that character, and I'm sure he's a super nice guy.
Yeah.
Outside of it, but he's keeping that character, right?
Right.
And that's what they need to do. Like, build up the characters. If you're going to start with a heel push, they continue with it.
Yeah.
Have patience, and it's going to take time. Like, lots of former superstars have said, it takes years to build up somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much now because you have more social media and all that to push them, more than what you did back then. But it takes time. You have to have the patience, and not okay. 2 weeks, no, it's not working. People don't like it. Here, and then we're left like, well, what happened to, like, last week he was feuding with this like, what happened? Like, no, the whole Retribution and Ricochet
business. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Business. Like, we were feuding with them, and then all of a sudden, nothing.
Well, you and I, we went over this ad nauseum the night it happened, because I was literally on the air. I got off the air at 5:00, and by 5:30, Retribution was dead. Just dead, because the Hurt Business beat him up, and the Fiend punked him out.
Yep.
Like, and I get to a certain extent keeping those guys under mask and trying to keep the mystique, but we all know who they are already because of social media. Like everybody knows that Mia Yim is a sweetheart off camera, and she's engaged to Keith Lee, and we all love her to pieces. I'm not buying her as a badass under a mask. Like, if you want Mia Yim to be in the group, that's fine. I'd buy that. Like, because Mia Yim was a badass character. We had her working for Wild for a little while. So I like Mia, but not whatever the hell name she's using with the group. And T-Bar, we saw Dominic Dijakovic and Keith Lee have a huge battle of respect, but they came out as friends. And now T-Bar's a royal dickhead. It doesn't work for me. So I totally agree with what you're saying there, 100%.
No, and that's the thing. You just need patience.
Yeah. It's the thing is, I mentioned before you came on, Austin becoming Stone Cold Steve Austin was strictly organic. There was no way you can tell me when they hired him in 1995 as the ringmaster that they had him earmarked to be in the freaking stratosphere within a year and a half. No way. Same with Dwayne. Dwayne was brought in because of his family name and because he was a decent worker. But he was the whitest white babyface this side of 84 Hogan. And the fans shit on him for it. And what happened? He took it and he stuck it right here, and he came back out. He says, no, screw you guys. And The Rock. There you go. Organic.
No, and just trust your talent.
Yes. Oh, JJ with the comment, toward your point. Remaster The Art of the Slow Burn. Oh my God! Like, how long did we wait? I don't know if you were a fan back then. I know JJ wasn't quite a fan yet. I don't know how far back your fandom goes, Lise. How long were we having to salivate and wait for that next touch between Stone Cold and Vince after the initial stunner in the Garden?
Mm-hmm.
Like 6 months before they had their thing that Mick Foley interrupted, that Doolittle interrupted.
Yep.
Which of course popped the rating that beat WCW. And then they didn't have actual in-ring contact until the 1999 Royal Rumble.
Right, and that's
slow
again,
burn.
Keep the mystery going, right?
Yeah, it's so crazy that you're so right. The art of the mystery of the business is gone, and people have pointed the finger at Vince for that because of the whole breaking down of the kayfabe thing in whatever it was the early 90s with the whole New Jersey government thing. No. If Vince had his druthers, we'd still be thinking that Hulk Hogan lived on Venice Beach and wore red and yellow 24 hours a day.
Yeah, I mean, if Vince had it his way, it would still be, like it used to be. You would know nothing about these, but with the times and, they're out there making their own brands and names and side money.
Yeah.
It's just out there. There's nothing he can really do but try to control it.
Right. Which is why the Cameo thing got shut down so quickly, and all the other, and the Twitch stuff and all the other peripheral stuff got
exactly.
Yeah. Ratnick makes a good point, and I love this because this really ties into the art of people touching. I get Survivor Series is the battle of the brands, but Drew and Roman should not have even touched.
Not yet.
Like that's a Mania main event if it's built right.
That should have been more of a argument here and there. A little shade thrown at each other.
Right.
Poking the bear, so to speak, and then have them come to blows. But it happened too soon. And now what do you do with them? What do you do with Drew?
Either one of them, really. I mean, we're all, hoping and praying that Rocky's going to be here for Roman. He ain't coming. So it's ridiculous. And
I can see Roman. They have more for Roman. They do in challenger wise, people that can actually beat him and hit the spot. No.
Right.
Drew. Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
they're running out of people. Like they're just recycling them.
This is just one of those days. Okay. What I was going to say was when Randy beat Drew and it was going to be Randy and Roman, I'm like, okay, they're going to make us wait for Drew and Roman. I like that. And then they took it away from us. That would have been the perfect opportunity for the Fiend to cost Randy the match, to hell with brand loyalty. And then that leads us to TLC.
Yep.
But again, we're sitting here booking it in Toronto and Los Angeles, not Connecticut. So.
Now, another thing would be moving Raw back to 2 hours.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that because
it drags. It seems like you're watching this show like 84 years. Like it's just
it's the freaking Titanic meme all the time, every week. I swear to God, it's terrible.
And you can tell that they're throwing stuff together that makes no sense just to get that 3 hours.
Yep. And the thing is,
and then they cut it off before the match ends or whatever, and then you're left with like, what the hell? Like, let it finish.
There's two things that I want to counter with. Not counter, I agree with that. Number one, I forget what the show was called. Help me out, network people. JBL and Rosenberg were talking to, I want to say it was Corey. Whatever that show was called. Rosenberg brought it up, and JBL said flat out, as long as the advertisers have a say, the show will never go back to 2 hours ever again, which sucks, but he's right. Number two, Hulu has a show for 90 minutes. I have yet to be to be unsatisfied watching it for 90 minutes on Tuesday mornings than trying to sit through for 3 hours on Mondays. Cause it drags. I just want to keep putting freaking old Rose from Titanic on there and just throw that quote up every single Monday, right around 9:15. It's like, okay, I'm good. Thanks. Oh, there you go. Big G with $5 super chat to you, Lisa. He says they need the writers from Chicago PD, Fire, and Med. So I guess I guess you guys have that thing. I don't watch those shows.
Yes, exactly. Do a crossover every now and then. See, he gets it.
Which is what I said earlier. Media crossovers, dude. I would have no problem with the brands crossing over, but I get they can't right now because COVID. But when they ended the brand, I mean, you and I were right in our early stages of our friendship when the brand extension, quote unquote, ended when Punk was champion, or when actually at the time it ended, actually. John was champion, but whatever. And then everybody was going every which way for a couple of years, and I didn't have a problem with it, except the point I had earlier. They've got so many guys on the payroll, and at the time they had 4 hours of TV to fit that many people every single week, which is why the brand extension became a thing in the first place, because they hired the WCW people, and they had so many, like the roster was ballooned like it had never been before. Yeah. And they wanted to have different compelling storylines every Monday, every Thursday or Friday. And now it's like, I look forward to watching SmackDown, whether it's at 5 o'clock if I watch on the satellite or 8 o'clock here on my regular TV, because that show compels me. I have to get myself up to even trim the damn computer on. Okay, Rob's going to start. Okay, here we go. Okay, and for you watching it back there, you and I are trying to talk about it. I'm just like, I'm sitting here just at my desk, just like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Other than Drew, and honestly, other than Miz's having the briefcase and me still liking the Miz and still wondering what's going to happen, I could give a shit. I could, because the Fiend's not there. Alexa's definitely saving that show. I want to see Alexa. If I don't see Alexa till the 10 o'clock hour, I'm like, oh man. But I was telling JJ this yesterday. The Fiend needs to come back to work and kiss Alexa's feet every day till he retires, because she saved that storyline from a hurt business level burial.
He's another one. Like, Bray is another one with social media, right? Like, you haven't heard boo from him.
Nope.
Nobody knows what he's doing, where he's going. I mean, Randy was supposed to be all burnt up, and then his wife is posting happy-go-lucky pictures the next day. Well, he heals pretty quick. Like, like that kind of stuff, right?
We were just all over it, man.
We all knew. Yeah. I don't know. It bothers me. I mean, like, we know he's not burnt and stuff, but if you want to play that storyline and then have him come out the next day all wrapped up and stuff, like, it doesn't work.
No. Well, see, that was honestly, for me, it was funny because when Randy did the promo with the mask on and he was on social media the next day with his face all cleared up, you and I are going, who's his freaking dermatologist? I want to know these secrets. It made for a funny, so it was okay. If the Fiend shows up the next day, that's bullshit, because he was lit completely on fire.
Yeah, so there's that mystery, right? Like, what's he doing? Like, there's nothing, no post, no family picture, like nothing.
Yeah, when the Fiend disappeared, Mr. Rogers Bray was gone too. There's just no Bray Wyatt right now, and
so
all we know,
what is he up to, right?
All we know is what Alexa's voices are telling her to tell us. Which doesn't brilliant.
Give you much to go on, right?
Exactly. Well, if Lexi's not at Disney or with Ryan, she's off in Looney Tunes land, and that's okay. We're okay with that, Lex. It's okay. So good for her. But it's working. I've always been invested in the Alexa Bliss character, but I am hardcore. I'm like ready to. I can't wait to see what happens tonight. I'm looking forward to her segment. I'm like going to be doing things around the room. I'll hear that music. Oh, time to sit down. Here we go.
Yeah.
Honestly. So I agree. Mystique is gone. It needs to be back. Kayfabe, again, you can't resurrect Kayfabe in 2021. We all would love that. No. But, the little things.
Right?
Bray's doing it. MJF's doing it. You mentioned T-Bar. Dominic Dijakovic is doing it to a certain extent on his social media. But the thing is, And this is a huge problem that I don't know if it's a problem, but it's probably a society or whatever. But we all want to be loved.
Mm-hmm.
We all want
and I tell
to
you,
have affection.
Coming back on Twitter after what, like 8 years,
Right?
and
Good grief.
being thrown into it, yeah, it's changed a lot. Like, these people are brutal.
Yeah.
Some of
I
them,
mean,
not all of them. There's a lot of very, very sweet people on Twitter, but there's,
right.
I don't know, the I guess they call it the internet wrestling community.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Okay. Here's how far back her and I go. Okay, guys. We met through her watching our No DQ shows on the MySpace link. Okay, that's how far back her and I go. Just saying, we're a couple of fuddy-duddies, whatever. But
Now I feel old. Yeah, thanks.
right. It was only 2010, whatever. So,
what's the MySpace?
well, yeah, and that's the thing. We were so worried about Facebook being so much more controversial, and it's like, dude, Facebook is the freaking puppy dog land, man. Twitter's the freaking junkyard where the Rottweilers sit, man. They're nasty on there. And like you said, you had to take yourself off social media because you didn't have a choice for your own sake, because it was driving you crazy and you didn't need to deal with that shit. I don't blame you. If I didn't have to freaking, build an empire, as I've been saying for a year, I probably would take a break too. But
I'm back.
And we're so glad you're back, and we love having you on our shows, and I'm so grateful to have you as my friend. And now that you know about the Kings t-shirt, we definitely have to make sure we get that out to you, so we'll have to take care of that. And yes, I'll be plugging it later. You guys saw it in the trailer, but I'm happy. I'm so glad Greg did it for me. I'm so happy. Anyway, all right, Lisa, my dear, thank you so much. We will I'm sure we'll be talking during Raw, because I'll sit through it, God help me. So thank you much, and we will talk to you soon.
All right. See you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
All right. Let me see if I can cue Jay's video up now without a medium of hassle. Let's see here. First I want to do that. Then I want to do that. And then I need to try to do this. I know. Waiting, Big G. Try to get Jay's video thing before he has to go back to work. I think he's ready back at work. So, all right. If the video line, I will mute it, and I'm sorry. So just stand by, guys, because I don't remember how to do it. All right, there's that. Okay, there. Okay, cool. All right. I think we're talking here. Let me just up. Okay, there we go. Cool.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, what are we? Oh. All right, there it goes. Sorry, guys, stand by. I had a chance to edit it, so I have no idea what. All right, we'll do it after.
Okay.
There we go. 3, 2. So, Jay, the theme of today's show is something that Aaron put up over the weekend about what does pro wrestling need exactly. He said what he said was pro wrestling need. That was his exact quote. Mm-hmm. And people just jumped all over it. People were, commenting left and right, and I wanted to make sure I got at least you and Aaron and Greg's input, because you guys are my team, and Mike as well. Whenever he's available, he's not trying to move out here as fast as he possibly can. I don't blame him for it, for the record. But you're just recently getting back into the game after being gone for a long time, and
I still wouldn't say that I'm fully back in, because all I've really seen since the new year is Raw.
Right, which is fine.
I haven't
Raw is a
seen
big
any
problem.
episodes. I haven't seen any episodes of SmackDown.
Right.
Haven't watched AEW or Impact.
Mm-hmm.
I've strictly only watched Raw because Raw was always the A brand.
Of course. Right.
Even though there was a long time there, the Blue brand was arguably better.
Absolutely. It's good that you're primarily focusing on Raw because you will have a better take, I think, than most people, because a lot of people trying to evaluate the whole problem. Raw has been the problem child more than any other brand in the company, and I unfortunately, where the future of Raw goes, the future of the company goes, because I don't care what people say, it's the flagship. It will always be the flagship.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think can be done? I mean, I don't know if it's going to say wrestling because it's not dead, and I don't even think it's dying because there's a lot of thriving going on. The product, the creative and whatnot is and there's a lot of other things that go into it too. What do you think is missing, and what can be done? What does pro wrestling need? Okay.
Well, for starters, let me say that considering the fact that I am just getting back into the product, I don't see as much of a problem with Raw as other people.
Right.
I have been thoroughly entertained by the episodes of Raw that I have seen since the beginning of the year.
Okay.
Maybe part of it is the fact that I've been watching them back on Hulu, and my
Right.
3-hour episodes get turned into an hour and a half because there's no commercials, which is always a good thing.
And they cut crap too, not just commercials. They cut fill out, which is wonderful.
So I get the meat and the potatoes of the show.
Right.
And for at least the last 3 weeks, I've watched it on Hulu. Prior to that, I was watching on, cable, DVR, whatever.
Right.
I like some of what I'm seeing. I especially like this Alexa Bliss thing.
Oh yes.
Like, I sit here scratching my head every time wondering how they pull this off.
Right.
Because I know with the pandemic, WWE has gone to more cinematic style.
Right.
And that's great. It's easy to do that type of stuff when you're being cinematic.
Right.
How are they pulling it off with the crowd, even in the Thunderdome?
Yeah.
It boggles me a little bit how they can do such seamless changes with her,
Yeah.
all in front of a live crowd.
Well, one thing to keep in mind is, and I actually found this out in the early days of them doing this, the Thunder. I'm pissed. Anyway, I don't know why that happened, but JJ, we will try to get your video back running later if you're watching at home. And I put the banner up while I feel so bad. This video quality is such shit. I feel so terrible. Anyway, all right, I can get the comments that were put up during that video because I did want to highlight them. So thank you for. Lisa says she forgot to mention another thing you need to do is merge tag titles. Yes, my dear, I have said that for ever and ever. They don't need more than one tag team championship for the males, and you're right, in the women's tag team division, or do something with it. It looks like they're going to have Dakota and Raquel challenge Nia and Shayna. They're going to have a little cross branding with the tag titles as far as a match, maybe WrestleMania. That'd be nice. She says rework the draft. It should come at a time that fits in a storyline. It should have some sort of logical order and make wholesome changes that are actually thought out and not made on a whim. Yes. Preach, girl. Good grief. And they won't be able to do it in front of a crowd, unfortunately. Well, no, they're not going to. It's as far as that was where I was going with what I was saying before the damn thing cut off. The Fiend Alexa Bliss presentation right now is very much Thunderdome reliant. Like, they can't do it in a live crowd. They just can't. The way she transforms like that, they just can't do that on in a regular arena. So I'm wondering if they're handicapping themselves by doing that. So, I mean, we'll wait and see, right? All right, now this should be good because I wanted to get as many opinions as possible. Big G left. I'm sorry if I didn't get to you before you had to leave, Jeff. I'm sorry. If you want to come back on, by all means, brother, come on in. But I do have somebody waiting in the wings, and I will get them on right now. He's just down the hall, actually, and he has a very unique perspective because he's just about 12 years. He's not even quite 13 years old yet, so I want to hear what he has to say. Hello, my boy.
Hi.
Okay, you're wearing a Patriots jersey and an Oilers beanie on your dad's network.
Yes.
You're fired.
No.
So you have been watching wrestling pretty much from the get, much to your mother's chagrin. I'm sorry to say, I do feel bad, kind of. What do you think, my boy, can be done that's not being done to make wrestling better and more appealing to a broader audience, or even the audience it has now? Like, what's wrong that can be fixed?
They don't push the right people.
Okay. What do you mean?
There's so many talents, like Finn Balor. He's in NXT. He should be either the Universal Champion or the number one contender for the Universal Champion, or the WWE Champion, or the number one contender for the WWE Champion. You have people like Cesaro, who they've pushed many times as tag team and as a single star, and every time he's just about to get there, they completely take him either off TV or put him back into developmental or NXT.
Right. Well, it's funny you mentioned Cesaro, Bubba, because I don't know if you had access to Talking Smack up at your mom's on Saturday, but Cesaro and Brian were both on the show. They came on together. I don't know if they're. I haven't watched SmackDown in a few weeks. I guess they're an alliance now, which is cool by me, because I love both those guys. And they got some real time. And Cesaro cut an amazing promo on Saturday. So go back and watch Talking Smack when you get a chance. It was one of those things where, when Paul's on the show, it really seems to generate chaos or actually quite serious stuff also. So great show. And, Lisa's son, who is just about your age, he was actually surprised at how much talent NXT. Yeah, that's the thing. There's so many people, not just on the Raw roster, the SmackDown roster, the working NXT roster. They've got so many people down there, just sitting there twiddling their thumbs. Mm-hmm. And I get it. There's COVID. I get that, but they're, like you said, Finn Balor is a great. Finn Balor is kind of a microcosm of this whole thing. But Finn had the push, got the title, got hurt winning the title. Had to go away. When he came back, they did nothing with him except wow, dude, hat hair, brutal. They freaking sent him down into mediocrity by having him do mid-card feuds and occasionally bringing the demon paint out. You know, JJ's talked about it yesterday when I played that damn video that didn't work. You know, they need to bring the demon out of the box every once in a while. It's like, yeah, but again, I don't know how much of this is true or not. I've heard Finn wants to be in NXT because he enjoys the atmosphere. He enjoys the great talent down there. I assume you're talking about the wrestling, not about the hockey, because the fact that he's wearing an Edmonton Oilers beanie in my shot, at least, is going to cause trouble when we get off the air. Don't be encouraging that. Anyway, so not pushing the right people. What else?
Well, yeah, there is, like, the people they push get almost there, or they do get there, and then they completely make them fall off. Like, let's take Bray Wyatt for a second. He is Bo Dallas's cousin or brother or something. Brother. And and then he became Husky Harris of the Nexus. Punk's Nexus.
Right.
Then they rebranded him as a Bayou cult leader.
Right.
That was good. And then they broke up and he did his own thing.
Yes.
And people got behind him. They didn't push him. And he got back together with the Wyatt family. With Braun Strowman. Didn't push him. And then they finally push him for him to have the championship for 3 months. Bring him back down. Rebrand his character, whatever. Comes back as the Fiend. And just Bray Wyatt, who is psychopathic.
Mr. Rogers.
And then he has him win the championship.
We're getting on surround sound because we can both hear. What are you telling me for? He's the one who's supposed to get the door. Nana told him to get it. Don't. I'm running the show here. Go tell him.
No text.
No text. It might be Dad. What are you woofing? We're live, pal.
And then he drops the title to Goldberg.
God, thank you. Irritates me. I'm not getting the door. You can just wait for somebody to come in or just go chill out. Go get some water and relax. Crazy pooch. Yeah, that was a stupid friggin' thing. God, so bad that all the other stuff you said before about Bray, I can almost get behind, but friggin' Goldberg just chaps my ass. It always has. Ugh, bugs. I love it. What they need is shaking us up in the pipe bomb moment. Well, yeah, but we're not going to get that until the crowds come back because they're not bringing CM Punk back on camera until the crowds are back. That's not going to happen. And you and I talked about that, Bubba. You and I talked about that, Lisa. We've all talked about that amongst the group of us. We're not going to get CM Punk until the crowds are back in the arena. It's an unfortunate side effect of the pandemic, but it is what it is, as the dream would have said all those years ago.
Well, see, like, WWE is what it's like. AEW and WWE are complete polar opposites. AEW is what everyone wants WWE to be,
right?
And WWE is what everyone doesn't want in WWE to be. It's like whoever they push, no one wants, and when they do push someone, it's like they get pushed for 5 months and then they fall off again. And when they don't push someone, they get mad, so they can't do anything right. AEW has tremendous stories, tremendous people that are famous and that are doing good. And you have MJF, or however you say his name, who's literally just a AEW CM Punk.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead, keep going. You're good.
So, AEW is doing everything right. I have absolutely nothing to say for AEW that they're doing something wrong, this isn't right, or they need to do this.
Sting.
Is he wrestling?
He's going to.
When?
The next major show.
Which is?
I couldn't tell you, Bubba. It's him and Darby against I forget who they're facing. Oh, Taz's team. Cage and Starks.
Oh. And then there's so many things that just you want to do, but then something happens where you can't fully put it out. And it's not like they make it so they still follow through with someone else.
Right.
They just stop.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, that's been a problem as long as I've been a fan. The people seem to get behind somebody and they're hot, and then they fall off, and there's no reason for it. It's just they cool off, and rather than nurture it and try to make it like it was or get it better than it was, they give up and next.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
My main thing I say for WWE messing up, Baron Corbin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. So before you start on your Corbin spiel, this guy here was Kofi Kingston through and through. He loved Kofi. He even forgave Kofi for doing the stupid New Day thing. It was stupid at first. Obviously, we love the New Day now, whatever. But when he saw Baron Corbin's presentation in NXT, he's like, that's my new favorite, Dad. And we all looked at him like, what? And Corbin was a great quit looking for him. It doesn't matter. He was a great talent when he had that biker centric gimmick where he would come out, the engine would rev, they have a little spotlight on him walking down the aisle, and he'd come in and just whoop ass and leave. And they blew it big time. Here we go. And then, when there you go. See? We got that for Dylan at SummerSlam 10 years ago.
Yeah. But Baron Corbin...
Which when he met Kofi, by the way. So there you go.
Even now, I have WWE 2K18, which is 2 games old. And Corbin is still the lone wolf, full hair, doesn't care about anything, will do anything to win kind of guy. And every single time I do like a universe mode, if you don't know what that is, basically where you control shows, you can make shows, championships, stuff like that. I always push Corbin. Like right now, the universe I'm doing, I have The Undertaker as WWE champion. I'm going to go into WrestleMania, have Corbin beat him, and completely take him off TV. That is my plan for The Undertaker, because it's like a passing of the torch moment.
Ryan Peterson's absolutely right. Vince very much is Doug from Up. Squirrel.
Yeah.
And again, I try so hard not to pick on the old man on my shows because I have the utmost respect for Vince McMahon. I've met him. Dylan's proxy met him kind of in utero, so he was there too. So I have respect for Vince, but the product is just so lacking. And yeah, he's right. The whole puppy thing is very much true about Vince. Dylan, there are questions for you in the chat room, sir.
Oh, yay.
Lisa says, if you were writing the next championship story, who would you put in it? That's your first question. And your other question is, what one storyline would you take away the scrap and why?
That's going right now, like literally right now. I watched the pay-per-views. That's it. I have absolutely no clue what's going on. I mean, like I had no clue. I called Carmella's butler a humanized version of Alien because he looks like a human. Find a picture of Alien and then find a picture of Reginald and try to compare, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay.
Well, how about this one? If you were writing the next championship story, who would you put in it?
Now Roman. Hi. Okay, package. Hold on.
Stop your phone from ringing so I have it in my show, please. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's very funny doing this show on surround sound. Too funny. Yeah, pretty good, Ryan. But he's right, though. At least it's the thing. And you and I both know he's right? So, yeah. Anyway. Anything for me?
Nana.
Anything with my name on it, though?
No.
Oh, silly.
What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Who would I put in it? Okay, today Roman and Brock Lesnar. And I'll have Brock Lesnar, the person that can hold the championship for a record time because he literally has 5 matches. Have it like he's an actual performer.
All right. Well, there you go.
Oh, Betsy, come on.
No,
Because
jeez, that's dog ass.
that would be an amazing storyline. Having Paul Heyman have to choose between his client from 2002 to his client of 2020. And it doesn't matter if they're both heels or if they're both faces or if it's heel of face.
Right.
Because it honestly doesn't matter anymore.
Right.
I mean, you had heels that were heel. And you turn them into wannabe comedians.
Right. Makes sense to me.
I don't even know.
Okay. No worries. I happen to agree with you, to be honest with you. There's a lot that can be done that I wish they would do, and they're not going to, and that's fine. I get it. They don't want to do that. But I just there are a lot of things, and we all talked about it, and I appreciate Lisa coming on, and I appreciate Big G waiting and having to leave. I'm sorry, G. I apologize.
I have something. I remember.
Okay.
It's not that a pro wrestling need. It's a pro wrestling. I'm glad they do it for WWE. Bringing back old pay-per-views.
Okay.
Like Backlash. They had Backlash just pop up out of nowhere. They had so many pay-per-views that they made, and then they fell off. And then all of a sudden, they're just adding them again, like No Mercy, Backlash.
Right.
Yeah, backrash, everybody. He has a rash on his back.
It happens.
And I was always saying for NXT to put all of NXT, like NXT UK and NXT regularly on the same exact day.
Which is what I said to you the other day, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, you remember that? And have a show on Thursday, move SmackDown to later Thursday.
Right.
And then call it, or have an actual show, like a new show, where they have, SmackDown. Move it to Thursday, and then have a Throwback Thursday kind of day where you have one special guest announcer, or special guest ring announcer, manager, or a broadcast announcer, for that day. Like you would have someone. I don't know.
Right. Okay.
And every Thursday you have someone new. And then, over the course of the time, you're going to run out of old guys, but then you're going to have new guys that were retired that you can throw in there.
Right. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second, kid. I'm trying to do something here real quick because I want to show you something before I let you get off the air here.
Okay.
Okay. No, that's right. All right. So, do you know the date today, kid?
15th.
Do you know what happened 2 years? 2 years ago, on the 15th of February.
I don't even know.
Well, I'll show you. Just give me a second here. Let me actually get the picture loaded up here, because it ties into dear friend of ours, or at least dear friend of mine, because you only met one of them. Well, I've actually only met one of them once too, but they're both really good friends. Let me just get it over
2 years ago, that was 2019.
Yes, sir.
Oh, we went to either Raw or SmackDown.
Incorrect, sir.
I don't know.
I will show you. Here we go.
I was going to say you went to NXT in Bakersfield, but that was in October.
Yeah, toward the end of the year.
Oh, okay. I missed my hair like that.
Yes, jeez.
Yes, I had a long, bleached hair, and I miss it so much.
Oy vey.
And look at this. We're closer than 6 feet, masks off, people touching everything, and we could do that. It's like you see old pictures, and you just miss it. Because it's you're so used to seeing people with masks on and everything, and saying, "Hell, I'm at this grocery store. I'm wherever."
Yep, and look at that. My championship hat in 2014 is actually white and not dirty.
Oh wow!
I just bought the new one from the Staples Center. That's why.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Trust
it
me.
had blue glasses too.
What's that? Yeah. Those are your blue glasses. Those are glasses I got. Actually, these are ones I'm wearing right now. I got those right around this time of year in 2016. So there you go. Anyway, that's where we were. That's what we were doing 2 years ago. Mount Tasia and Rattlers, and then I went to work in that god awful freaking restaurant. Anyway,
do you remember the comments on like your Twitter post or your Facebook post?
Yep, I do. Funnier than hell. So anyway, let's see. So Lisa was agreeing with your comment. Yes, 1,000%. Trust Heyman throw Heyman's loyalty through turmoil. Good, Lisa. Good grief, man. Talk got me drunk. Anyway, and then Ryan says those were the days. I love it. He says, "Yep, he's your kid. Yeah, he's mine. Oh yeah, there's no denial of that whatsoever. He is definitely my kid, Colin. Oh yes." And Ryan says, "I'm with you, Jeff. The utmost respect for what Vince has done, but we shouldn't be afraid to hold his feet to the fire. It's why we are fans. As long as we are not rude, we can say what we want." Yeah, I try. Trust me. You guys have been around with me my entire career. Dylan was not even a glimmer in my eye yet back when I first started. I was a prick to Vince, and so was my co-host, and Aaron was to a certain extent too. So yeah, we all had our issues with Vince, and that's, you know.
I think your co-host was, because I was like, Aaron, why didn't you just say Aaron? Then you said Aaron. I was like, wait.
Because I can't say his name on the air. Let's just let it go. Thank you. Hi. Okay. So since you're here, Bubba, you can either sit here and watch me do this, or you can go ahead and log off. It's up to you. I'm gonna go through promotions and I'm gonna sign off. So.
Okay.
All right. So tomorrow, right here on the Jeff Feature Network, you will see Step Boys Sports Bar at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific. We're gonna talk about the Chamber coming up this Sunday. Live on the WWE Network, a recap of Daytona. Yes, we got the race in last night. Woohoo! And of course, Mikey's rankings for the NHL and the NBA and his shout out. That's tomorrow night at 6 Pacific, 9 o'clock for you East Coast kids. Then the following morning at 10 o'clock my time, 1 o'clock his time, it's the Greg Cherry Show. I don't know why I was doing the Kermit the Frog intro there, but anyway. He'll have his Chamber of Predictions. Weird State Laws as always, the Wednesday Q&A, and the preview of the next day's Wrestling Trivia Challenge match, which is going to be Ruben, and I forget who he's facing. I'll have to look at the graphic when we get there, but it's going to be a rocket buster, as Taz would say. It's going to be a great match because it's the guy that almost beat Greg last season, Ruben Garcia, so it's going to be good. Then we get into something that might probably get me in a lot of trouble, but we'll see how the editing goes. Meech's Musings with Adam Contras. Round 2 with Adam. This time we're on his turf. And there was Whiskey, and Whiskey's a very dangerous co-star. So, yeah. Thursday, as of right now, the poll is still open. Thursday afternoon, beginning at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific, we will have Wrestling Rewind here on the Jeff Feature Network. It'll be Greg and I watching one of 4 WrestleMania matches from the past. And I'm going to check the score right now to see where we're at, because I want to have an honest thing. I went too far. Where the hell did it go? Sorry, guys. I apologize. There it is. All right. Right now, it's pretty much going where I thought it was going to go. So I did create this graphic in advance. It's probably going to be this match, and that's fine. I love this match. So does Greg. So does every wrestling fan I ever talked to. So more than likely, we're going to be watching Bret Hart versus Owen Hart from WrestleMania 10 on Thursday. Immediately following that, on the Greg Cherry brand, will be the Wrestling Trivia Challenge, Matt Rosa versus Ruben Garcia, and come back here at 6:30 Eastern, roughly, for the post game with Greg and I to recap the day's match. And then Friday will be the dads, not always on wrestling, as JJ and I go over our top 10 love songs and top 10 breakup songs with his special guest, Laura. She'll be talking about her choices for that list. So that'll round out our week on the regular channel. On Twitter, Saturday morning, 9 o'clock Pacific, 12 noon Eastern, Chapter 5 of Anniversary of Anarchy, the NWO, The Dark Side of Hulkamania. Yes, the unthinkable has happened. Hulk Hogan has turned to the dark side. We saw that last Saturday, and we will hear from Hollywood Hogan coming up this Saturday. The next day, Sunday morning, again, 12 noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, will be Big Gold, the definitive video chronicle of the Wrestling World's Most Celebrated Championship, Chapter 2, Dreams Come True at the Great American Bash. There you see the dream, baby. I love it. And then we'll round out the night with the Elimination Chamber Watch Along. 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific, exclusively here on YouTube on the Jeff Meacham Network. So that'll be our week. Again, over on the Renegades channel, which let me go ahead and put the proper mark up there. There you go. JJ, again, he was doing his watch along of Roots as we came on the air today, so make sure you go back and finish that with him. Tomorrow, it's Marshall, starring Chadwick Boseman, Josh Gad, Kate Hudson, Dan Stevens, Sterling K. Brown, and James Cromwell. Wednesday, Notorious, the story of B.I.G., the Notorious B.I.G., Biggie Smalls, of course. Thursday is Ray, the story of Ray Charles. Friday, Straight Outta Compton, and Dylan knows all about that. Saturday, Get On Up, the story of James Brown. And Sunday, he will round out the music side of the month with All Eyes on Me, the untold story of Tupac Shakur. So there is what's coming up this week on JJ's channel and my channel, and of course the Greg Cherry brand. You can find all of our merchandise at teespring.com/store/FHM, including the recently debuted Back to the Future design at teespring.com/back-to-the-network, and brand new, hot off the presses today, kids, dress like network royalty. That's right, baby. teespring.com/go-jeff-go, the official Kings-centric t-shirt of the Jeff Meacham Network. I already got one on the way. I love it. I'm loving life that I have it. So I thank Greg Cherry for getting that off in production right away. So thank you very much, Mr. Cherry. For J.J. Williams, even though he was here briefly in my video. For Lisa. For Big G, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry you couldn't be on the show. And for everybody in the chat room, and for Master Dylan, I am Jeff Meacham. I am the West Coast Professor saying we will see you tomorrow on Staff Boy Sports Bar, and next week right here, Talk Wrestling.
Bye.